Hi, thanks for tuning in. During the last probably 2 months now, have had an interesting ride with one of my projects. It was started in January when my son asked me to make him a rolling pin because he opened up a little bit of a new avenue in his cooking, and he didn't like using a wine bottle as a rolling pin anymore. So I said, you betcha, I'm going to make you a rolling pin. And I kind of cataloged it on Instagram, to which I ported over to Facebook. And things kind of rolled a little bit farther than I'm used to, in that I got a couple of requests for people to make them this rolling pin. And this video is about, here's your rolling pin and how I made it. So this is the end of the block after it's been glued up. And quite honestly, for something like this, locating the center for the lathe, drive, and live centers is incredibly important for this particular rolling pin. So I spent quite some time with a micrometer locating the centers. And then I drew the outside circle, the largest diameter of the pin, and I'll be knocking off the corners here with the table saw, which makes it much easier to come down on the lathe to a nice round rolling pin looking thing. Now the centering on these is incredibly important and difficult because you want everything to be symmetrical. I let that mineral oil soak in for about 2 hours, and there's still some sitting on the surface, and I'm going to just wipe that down. And just by itself, it gives a really nice sheen and a great feel, and it is perfectly safe to use on food. Now I'm going to let that sit overnight, and then I'll wipe that down once more and put on 2 or 3 coats of a beeswax mineral oil combination that I make up. It's about 50-50 by weight. Just use a double boiler to melt down the wax and pour in some mineral oil. It does solidify, but it's a very loose, waxy thing, and it's a very easy application that you can routinely put onto cutting boards and rolling pins. Well, this is good amount of time passed, and it's just, I still only got the mineral oil on there. So the last step I want to take here is put the beeswax top coating on it. And I must say, even without the beeswax, this is a very handsome finish. And that's what the concoction looks like that I described earlier. Now I just put a pretty liberal coat of this on. And there's really no sitting around time for this, because it's got all the oil already in the wood that I care about. I just want a little bit of extra protection with the wax on top. So there's no need to dry that. But you can see it does wet the surface out a little bit. And then I just take some old tea towels and give it a polish. And if and when I get to sending this out, I'll give it another buff. So there you have it. That's how I made your rolling pin. And I appreciate the folks asking to see that build. I do have a much earlier build on a rolling pin. It was from early days when I didn't have camera like I do now. And it dates, I think it dates back to 2014. I'll think I'll put a link in it just in case you want to see it. And I thank you very much for watching it. Come on back. I'm Tom Stevens. I'll have something again sometime.